Thank you all for joining us. This is Physical Activity for Older People. I want to take this moment to welcome anyone joining us from AARP. I ask that any questions you have, you please type into the chat so we can answer them for you. Our speaker is Melissa Long. Melissa, whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
Hello. Thank you all for joining me today. A little bit about myself. I'm a certified recreational therapist, and I'm the Director of Education and Support at Insight Memory Care Center. I've got my degree at the University of Southern Maine, and I've been working with older adults for about 20 years now, doing many different facets of the job, both community and clinical. And so I look forward to sharing this information with you. And like she said, please put any of your questions in the chat. Our mission is to provide specialized care, support, and education for individuals in all stages of memory or cognitive impairment and their care partner in the community. Our vision is a community where those living with memory or cognitive impairment and their care partners can achieve the highest quality of life. We provide programs for care. We also do education classes for caregivers, community workshops, professional training, and caregiving at a glance guides. And we provide support groups, consultations, memory screening, and memory cafe. So please feel free to go on our website to look further. So a recent study, and a reason why we should be active, shows that out of 893 seniors around the age of 80, the most active had a lower risk of decline or dying over the 4-year study compared to the least active group. It's a little traumatizing to hear that, but it's also reality of how important activity is. So what is the difference between exercise and physical activity? Well, physical activity includes tasks being done while working, cleaning, exercising, and those other leisure activities that you do every day. Exercise is a physical activity that is planned and structured in order to improve and maintain physical fitness and health. So when you're 65 and older, how much should you be doing? What's going to keep you healthy? Well, they say about 2 hours and 30 minutes of moderate cardiovascular activity, plus some muscle strength exercises, at least 2 days a week, working on all your major muscle groups. The other option is 75 minutes of high intensity cardiovascular activity a week, plus muscle strengthening exercise 10 minutes at a time is fine. So you don't have to do it all at once. None of this is all at once. It's just a total. What should you do? Well, remember, exercise is about progression. Take each day step by step. You know how you feel each day and what you can and cannot do. Challenge yourself, but be smart about your body and perform exercises as tolerated. Check with your doctor before you begin an exercise program and make sure you're having fun while you do this. No one wants to do exercises they don't like to do. So let's make it fun. So all sorts of activities count, even things that you have to do anyway. Raking, vacuuming, pulling weeds, that's exercise. Even things that don't, jump roping, taking the dog for a walk. No matter your age, you can find a way that works for you to keep fit. So how are some ways you can increase physical activity? Emphasize a change in lifestyle and daily behavior to recognize those opportunities for physical activity, such as walk or ride a bike rather than driving. Take the dog for a walk. Take the stairs instead of an elevator. Begin hobbies requiring physical activities like gardening and hiking. Incorporate light physical activity into your daily routine. Park the car farther away and then walk into the grocery store. Participate in physical activities with your grandchildren and/or friends. So here's just a short list of all the great things that can happen physically for you if you keep up with your exercise. It prevents and manages most chronic diseases and disabilities, helps to prevent cardiovascular disease, decrease your blood pressure, increase your good cholesterol, decreases your triglycerides. It improves glucose and insulin metabolism, which helps with diseases like diabetes. It increases bone density, which may lead to a reduced risk of osteoporosis. It increases your ability to perform daily activities. It increases strength to help maintain or increase independence. It increases your energy. It increases your balance, which may reduce the risk of falls and reduce the severity of a fall. It improves your body composition, so it decreases fat and increases your muscle mass. And as you age, your muscle mass actually declines. So this is a really good reason to exercise so you can keep that up. It also helps prevent and reduce pain associated with chronic pain syndrome. As much as they say, it hurts because I'm sitting. Well, if you get moving, that can help with that pain. It also decreases your risk of injury and enhances immune function. It increases mobility and gait as well. They have this term that we use in the older adult world that says, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So the more we move, the longer we're going to be mobile. There's some psychological benefits to exercising as well. It enhances our mood. It decreases depression. It increases cognitive function. It increases feeling of personal control. It improves your quality of life. It increases feelings of well-being, and it decreases stress, and it improves our sleep. Even if you don't want to walk, do 30 minutes because you'll have a much better rest at night. So this chart here, these are just guidelines that can help you see where you may need help. Make sure you inform and get guidance from your physical therapist, your personal trainer, or your physician, as you may have other factors causing these issues. But this is a great way to see where your functional limitations are. So for example, if you're getting dressed and putting a shirt on, and you're having a hard time doing it, that may mean the flexibility in your upper body is decreased. And there could be a reason behind that, to work on upper body flexibility with the different physical activities that you do. Putting on your shoes, that takes both your upper and lower body flexibility. So you want to work on something that does both of those. Opening a jar. I even have issues with that. So, your grip changes as you age. And so figuring out ways to strengthen your grip is so important. Reaching and placing objects over your head is your upper body flexibility and your balance. So it's amazing how many times you do things and don't realize there's multiple pieces tied in with it. For instance, walking up a hill and you get tired, that incorporates your lower body strength and your cardiorespiratory. One thing nice about walking up inclines, if you can do it on a regular basis, is that it keeps up your bone density and your muscle mass in your lower body. So it's a good combination thing to do. When you look around, like moving around in your bed, that takes a lot of upper and lower body strength. So a lot of times we might be active, but we don't have the strength behind it. And so that's why they encourage you to do both physical activities along with strength training activities so that you can have both things. So really important for cardiovascular exercise, get your heart beating faster. An aerobic activity can help you to do everyday tasks and keep your mind and memory sharp. Try these aerobic activities. Go for a swim or a bike ride. Walk around the neighborhood or inside the home when the weather's bad. One thing I do if the weather's really bad is I might put on my favorite show and I'll run in place in front of the TV. Or you can march in place. And it's an easy way to stay outside away from the weather, whether it's really humid, it's really cold, it's too hot, and still get some physical exercise in place. They also sell stationary bike pedals that you can sit on a couch and pedal while watching TV. I know a lot of people do as well. Play a sport with a friend. We all love pickleball or tennis. And aim for at least 150 minutes a week of doing those moderate aerobic activities. Just getting started, no problem. Start slow and do what you can, even if it's a 5-minute walk. It will add up, you'll build up your endurance, and you'll be able to go longer the next time. Don't criticize yourself when you're only doing a short distance or doing a small amount of something, because at least you're doing something, and that's what's really important. So what can you do for exercise? Cardiovascular and aerobic exercise. You go to aerobics class, you can do walking, jogging, and running, swimming, biking, dancing, join your aerobics class. You can do water aerobics as well. Add your own equipment like balls and frisbees and canes. Do more coordination movements. So for example, what do you think you could do for coordination? Well, if you lift up you put some cans across your table and you pick up different ones. You'll have your different weights. You'll be gripping. So those are some things that you can do. You can do dancing for coordination as well. And then while you're doing those things, is there a way you can exercise your brain at the same time and stimulate your mind? So sometimes throwing some trivia in there. So muscle strength exercises, some equipment options are dumbbells, resistant bands, exercise balls, and regular balls, and body weight exercises. And muscle strength activity can really make it easier to do things like getting up from a chair and opening a jar. So try these muscle strengthening activities. Do squats, lunges, and arm circles. Carry your groceries. Lift weights. Or fill a plastic bottle with water and lift that instead. You can also use canned vegetables or another option to use for weights. But aim for at least 2 days a week to do that muscle strengthening activity. Some ways to stimulate your mind. Count by 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So if you go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it's going to stretch your brain. Brush your hair, your teeth with your non-dominant hand. It throws your brain in a little bit of a different function, and you're using the opposite side than you're used to. Say your ABCs backwards. Not an easy thing to do. And do coordinated movements. So for example, if you lift your left arm up, lift your right leg up at the same time. It's using both sides of your brain simultaneously. But please do remember, if there is pain, do not do the exercise. Take your time and build up your strength. Do 8 to 15 times of each exercise. Complete each set twice. So for example, do 8 sets of leg lifts and do it 2 sets of each on each side. Always maintain good posture and keep your breathing. Remember, it's never too late to start being active. So take the first step, get a little more active each day, and move your own way. Get a mix of activity types at the same time. So for even more health benefits, try something that counts as more than one activity. So for instance, if you do ballroom or salsa dancing, you're doing both cardio and balance. You're raking the leaves in your yard, you're doing cardio and strengthening. If you take water aerobics, you're doing cardio, strengthening, and balance all at once. So doing some of those activities that can bring multiple things in place is great. So how can you stay safe while exercising? This is the most important part, because as you age, your body changes. So be sure to pace yourself and balance high intensity intervals with rest. If you feel pain during your workout, please stop. Exercise should be challenging, but never painful. Don't exercise when it's too hot, cold, or humid, and move your workout indoors during adverse conditions. Stay hydrated. Dehydration is a special risk for older adults, so drink plenty of fluids throughout the day. And if your exercise regimen is disrupted because of travel or the holidays, please ease back into it. Don't start where you were when you left, because your body has changed. Also, listen to your body. If you're too tired, thirsty, sore, give yourself a chance to rest and heal. Don't overdo it. You also want to wear loose, comfortable clothing, well-fitting, sturdy shoes that have good arch support, an elevated and cushioned heel to absorb shock. Make sure the shoes are made for the type of physical activity you'll be using them for. Shoes are specially designed for walking, running, tennis, and dancing. If you are not already active, begin slowly. Start with exercises that you are already comfortable doing. Starting slowly makes it less likely you will injure yourself, and start slowly also helps prevent soreness. Exercise is only good for you if you are feeling well. Wait to exercise until you feel better if you have a cold, the flu, or any other illness. And if you miss exercise for more than 2 weeks, be sure to start slow again. And drink water before, during, and after your exercise, even if you don't feel thirsty. So when you're being active, how do you know if you're being too active? If you have certain medical conditions, specific type of exercise can be too risky for you. And this is why I always say, please converse with your PT, your doctor, or your personal trainer who's been working with you. People with severe osteoporosis, for example, have brittle bones that can fracture easily. They should avoid high impact activities that involve sudden jolts, twists, and turns, and those in which the risk is falling is likely. So tennis, riding a bicycle, running, squash, and golf can have all these risks. Try other exercises like yoga and Tai Chi, water aerobics, which are gentler on your joints and bones. If you have a heart condition, such as heart disease or diabetes, a pulmonary condition that affects your ability to breathe, arthritis, or have a stroke, you should talk to your doctor to determine what kind of exercise is safe for you. And your doctor will take into consideration your health conditions, medications, and other factors to help you identify the level of exercise that is good for you. Then you can get a coach to design a workout plan that's safe for you based on the plan you and your doctor have agreed upon. Also, a reminder, if your muscles or joints are sore that day after exercising, you may have pushed yourself a little too hard. Your body will adapt to this over time, but if the soreness was too uncomfortable, you should lower your intensity the next time. The pain or discomfort persists, please talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor if you have any of the following symptoms while exercising: chest pain or pressure, trouble breathing or excessive shortness of breath, lightheadedness or dizziness, and difficulty with balance and nausea. So here's some questions to ask your doctor if you want to talk about your exercise plan. Is it safe for me to exercise? How do I get started? Are there any exercises or activities I should avoid? Is my preventative care up to date? How does my health condition affect my ability to exercise? And which exercises will help me the most? I watch my diet and I'm not overweight. Do I still need to exercise? I think we all know the answer to that one, though sometimes we might like to hear something else. Let's look at some easy exercises that you can do at home, and feel free to try them if you would like while we're going through them. So chair stands. So sit tall in your chair, feet are flat on the floor. Sit towards the middle or front of your chair. Place your hands on your thighs or on the armrests. Knees are stacked above your ankles. Shift weight forward as you stand up, pressing your hands into your thighs or your armrests. Press your heels into the ground as you stand up, and repeat this 8 to 15 times, doing 1 to 2 sets. So I definitely say if you haven't done it before and you're not sure your balance, definitely use the armrests on your chair first to help, and then you can do it by putting your hands on your thighs and not holding on. The next one would be a straight leg raise. So you sit on the edge of your chair, straighten your right leg, and place the heel on the floor, toes pointing up, lift that right leg off the floor and slowly lower your leg down again. Repeat 8 to 15 times, 1 to 2 sets on both sides. You can add an upper body movement for more work and brain work if you'd like as well. Then we have the wall push-ups. Face a wall, stand above about an arm's length away, feet shoulder width apart. Lean your body forward, put hands flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Bend your elbows and lean upper body towards the wall. Slowly push back until your arms are straight. Repeat 8 to 15 times, 1 or 2 sets. Then to work on your core, your abdomens, scoot towards the middle or front of your chair. Sit tall and cross arms on your chest. Gently lean back until your upper back touches the back of your chair. Do not round your shoulders, and come back to a seated position and repeat. Another abdominal exercise, if you sit in the middle of your chair or with your back against the chair, place your hands at the sides. Both feet are on the floor and knees are bent. Lift your knee straight up and lower it back down. Preferable to do one at a time to protect your vertebrae. Because if you do lift both and you have osteoporosis, you can cause small fractures. So please just keep that in mind. Balance. Always have a sturdy chair nearby if you feel unstable when doing balance exercises. Make sure there are no throw rugs or items you can trip over in the area that you exercise. Balance is progressive. Start with one exercise and gradually add more challenging movements to it. Some balance exercises, for example, like Tai Chi balance exercise, incorporate balance into traditional exercises. For example, stand on one leg and do a shoulder raise at the same time. So let's see a couple of examples here. A 1-foot stance. So stand behind a sturdy chair, lift 1 foot off the floor. The leg you are standing on should be slightly bent. Try to hold this for 10 seconds and continue trying to add on more time the next time you try it. Next are toe taps. So stand behind a sturdy chair, tap your right foot in front of you, tap your right foot to the side, tap your right foot behind you. Repeat on your left foot. Gradually progress so that you're not tapping and not using the chair. So you're just moving your foot from front, side, and back, holding it in the air. Repeat at least 5 times on each side. Heel to toe walking. Let's pretend we're a tightrope walker. So position your right foot in front of your left foot. Heels and toes should almost touch. Take a step by putting your left heel in front of your right toes and try to walk at least 10 steady steps. Please put your arms out to balance. And if you feel even more unsteady, you can do it close to a wall so that you can have it catch you. Weight shifts. So if you stand behind a sturdy chair, step right foot forward and shift all your weight onto that right foot. Then step your right foot to the side and shift all your weight to your right foot again. Then shift your right foot behind you and put all your weight on your right foot. Repeat this with your left foot and do at least 3 times on each side. Next, we'll look at flexibility. This is allowing you to keep up with your activities of daily living, like getting dressed and lifting things. So perform stretching exercises at least twice a week and make sure to stretch after exercising. Hold a stretch for at least 15 seconds. And if you feel a sharp pain when stretching, relax the position that you are in. Never stretch without warming up your muscles, and do not bounce when stretching, and make sure you're always breathing. So a shoulder stretch, take your right arm, bring it across your chest, carefully push your arm towards your chest right above your elbow, and hold for 15 seconds. Then you'll take that arm down and you'll switch it to your left side and do the same exact thing. Next is a chest stretch. Sit or stand tall. Hold your arms to sides of your body at shoulder height. Slowly move your arms back while squeezing your shoulder blades together. Stop when you feel a stretch and hold for 15 seconds. And you can do this by just having your arms behind you, or you can hold onto the chair to do it as well. Next, a back stretch. Take your right hand and place it on your left knee. Slowly turn to your left, trying to peer over your left shoulder. Hold for 15 seconds. Then repeat by placing your left hand on your right knee and doing the other side. A leg stretch. Stretch out your right foot so your heel is touching the ground. Toe pointing up towards the sky, and you may need to sit forward in the front of your seat in order to get to this position. Your knees should be slightly bent but not locked. Slowly bend at the hip and reach towards your toes until you feel a gentle stretch, and hold for 15 seconds. Repeat on your other side as well. So now that you've learned why you should get physical and how to do some simple steps to accomplish this, it's time to make a goal for yourself. So start smart and simple. How to make a SMART goal. So we want to be specific. Who, what, where, when, why, and which. So define the goal as much as possible with no ambiguous language. So who is involved? Well, that's you. That's an easy one. Let's make it measurable. From and to, so you can track the progress and measure the outcome. How much? How many? Well, I know when my goal is accomplished. So for instance, you want to do it 2 times a week. Attainable. How? Is the goal reasonable enough to be accomplished? Make sure the goal is not out of reach for you. Relevant. Is the goal worthwhile, and will it meet my needs of what I'm trying to do? Each goal is consistent with other goals you have established. And timely. When? Your objective should be to include a time limit. I will complete this in 1 month, day, or year. This will help you establish a sense of urgency and prompt you to have better time management when doing these goals. So to get that SMART goal, here's an example. For the next 6 months, I will ride my stationary bike 3 times a week for 30 minutes. So we're identifying who will be doing it. We're identifying a timeline that will take 6 months to do. And how we're going to measure it is that I'm going to do it 3 times a week for 30 minutes. This will allow you to have something to focus on when doing these things and keep you accountable. Remember, ask yourself how you can challenge yourself physically, but mentally as well. Use different pieces of equipment, count in creative ways, perform coordinated movements opposite arm and leg, and always have fun. And I'm never against jumping on the bed. So I see I have one question in the chat. Oh, yes, they will be providing a link. We are recording this. Does anybody have any questions for me about the different types of exercises, concerns you have?
Okay, I'm not seeing anything in the chat, nor am I seeing any hands. Wait a second. Do you offer programs for support groups?
We do. If you go on Insight MCC, let me get the insightmcc.org. We have an events calendar you can click on, and we have, I believe, 14 support groups now with different categories and topics that you're more than welcome to sign up for. Also, I will go back here to our upcoming, whoop, I don't know what happened there.
Okay. You got out of slideshow mode is all.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes. The first question that they had was, will the slides be available? No, you will have access to the recorded program, but the slides are intellectual property that Insight likes to keep.
Yeah. So here are some upcoming events we also have. We do care partner trainings, and we're doing them both in person and virtually. So on our event calendar, you can sign up for them. The next one will be February 8th on the resources for aging LGBTQ plus cultural awareness and sensitivity for our older adults. And Jennifer Brown will be coming out, and she is lovely. We're doing a caregiving at a glance workshop out at Paul Springs in Alexandria. We have a 5-chapter book on how to be a caregiver with someone with dementia, and we'll be providing that workshop with professionals coming out. February 22nd, we're doing disparities with dementia care with Dr. Hill from the Alzheimer's Association, partnered with AARP. That'll be both in person and recorded. Out at Waltonwood and Sterling, we'll be doing a virtual dementia tour if anyone wants to experience what it might be like to have dementia, and you can sign up for that. And then February 25th out at the Ashley and Sterling, we're doing a caregiver boot camp. We're bringing out someone who's going to talk about finances and reverse mortgages. We're going to talk about Medicare and Medicaid and what benefits you have with those. And then we also have a physician coming out, and you can sign up for that as well.
Okay, you have some more questions.
I see.
Do you have a link to virtual exercise we can watch on our phone at home?
Yes. So if you go on YouTube and look up Silver Sneakers, it is one of the best older adult programs out there with certified trainers that are teaching exercises. And they have all sorts of, whether it's breathing, chair exercise, standing, balance, stretching. So that's the one I recommend.
And what do you suggest for warming up and cooling down before?
Can you repeat that? Excuse me.
Yes.
Silver what?
Silver Sneakers.
Okay, what do you suggest for warming up and cooling down before exercise?
Just simple walking you can use for that. That just gets your heart rate starting to move. So you can do a 5 to 10 minute walk before starting your exercise, and that works fine.
And Sue writes to you, I lead a PD support group and would like to offer this topic to them.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not sending out the PowerPoint slides. Are there any exercise apps you can recommend other than Silver Sneakers?
Apple does a great one. And then Peloton does one as well. You don't have to have the Peloton bike. That's another one. Those would be the two I would think to suggest right offhand. But you can always do the YouTube app and look up any exercise programs on there as well.
And what do you think of gentle yoga?
I love gentle yoga. Such a great thing for both our mental health, our balance, and our stretching. So I think that's lovely.
Okay. And just a comment, I would love to participate in water aerobics, but I'm short and the water is just below my bottom lip.
So usually with water aerobics, you can get the floating belts, which will keep your feet off, and it will hold you up so you can do still do the leg exercises. So I'd ask the instructor about that.
And what do you recommend for low impact cardio?
Low impact cardio would be walking, a small hike. You could do stationary bike pedals. Just, keep it real simple. I wouldn't suggest going out and doing a trail ride, but you can keep, doing just stationary bike pedals or a small walk.
And that's all I have in the chat right now. Do you have anything else?
I know one person who wanted to be coming to the PD group. For anyone else who wants to reach out to me, my email, and I will put it in the chat for everybody. It's melissa.long@insightmcc.org. So if anyone has further questions or would like to reach out to me, I am more than happy to touch base with you. But I thank you all for coming. If there's any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
And I'm waiting around because it does take a minute. Oh, somebody asked, what is PD?
Parkinson's disease.
My husband was Navy, so I understand you get so many acronyms. You're like, what does that one mean?
Yeah.
Suggestions when ankles, hips have arthritis.
So start slow. Don't do anything high impact. So doing things in the water is really great. Just doing walking, doing bicycles so that you're not putting pressure on those joints are good. Like doing the recumbent bike, not a regular bicycle. So it's the one where you're sitting and your legs are pushing this way. So you just want to take the weight and pressure off.
Okay. And Judy, I don't know if you're joining us through AARP or Ollie. If it's AARP, you will get a video. The video will be sent to them. And if you're Ollie, you know where to get your videos. I heard that the lunges are not recommended for older adults.
You can, there are safe ways you can do them. But you do need to have your balance in place. That's why doing the lunges with a chair are safer versus just doing them without anything to balance on.
Okay, for my Ollie newbie that you don't know where to get your videos, if you get the daily email in there, it gives you where click here to get your videos, and it gives you the password to the videos. And the Ollie program is Osher Lifelong Learning at George Mason. And Osher sponsors several lifelong learning institutes. Ours just happens to be through George Mason. And if you're interested in more information in that, the website is olli, OLLI.gmu.edu. and that website would tell you exactly how to become a member of OLLI. Matt and Margaret say, I have osteoporosis. Should I do water exercise?
It's not a bad thing to do, but just confirm with your doctor, your physical therapist, because I don't know how severe your osteoporosis is.
Okay. And I'm going to put the OLLI website for all information in the chat as well. Oh, please, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. All right, any more questions? So the most important thing from this class is keep moving.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Meg. This is Jennifer. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
I know, Melissa, that your Insight Memory Care is on the Long-Term Care Coordinating Council for Fairfax County. Can you speak to some of the work that you're doing for the county?
Yes. So we do dementia friendly. We also provide training to the ombudsman program and education. And so those are the two big things that we're tied in with the community. We also work with the older adult wellness center, and we do memory screenings out there in education classes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Memory Center? That's just around the corner from our Fairfax location here at on Roberts Road in Fairfax.
I'm sorry, the what center?
The Wellness Center for Older Adults.
So the Wellness Center is done through Service Source. It's right next to Braddock Glen Senior Living apartments, and they provide education, blood pressure readings, memory screenings, and different education classes and activities that you can participate in for older adults. And so we go out there a couple times a month and provide some of the resources.
All right. We do have another question. Finn asks, are golf and tennis good sports for exercise?
They are great. They work on both balance and cardio and strength. So they're both wonderful activities to do. You work on multiple things at once.
And Judy shares with us, along with Keep Moving, motion is lotion.
Which I love that. Thank you, Judy.
Okay. I think,
Melissa, we have some people coming into us through AARP who are coming in from all around the country.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to get involved with a memory care option in their community, where would they go for resources?
Some of the best places would be looking at the Alzheimer's Foundation and see if there's anything local. A lot of our stuff is virtual, so they can utilize that. It's not just in person. But all but 3 of our support groups are virtual. All of our education classes are hybrid. So you can do it that way. But they would go through their AAA organization, the Adults on Aging, to look up to see what they have.
and then we've got more questions about exercises, good shoulder exercises for if you have shoulder arthritis, and good finger exercises.
So my favorite shoulder exercises is just to roll your shoulders backwards 10 times, and then you can do them forwards. This way you're not overstretching any of the ligaments in your shoulders. It's just loosening them up. And then my favorite finger one is meeting your thumb with your pinky, then your ring finger, middle, pointer, and then you can go back the other way. And you can do it with both hands. And then squeezing and opening, squeezing and opening. And then the other one is to twist like you're doing doorknobs. So those are the ones I like to use for fingers and shoulders, because they're not anything that's going to overstretch anything.
Okay, one more time. Do we have any more questions for Melissa?
Melissa, just before you go, do you have any advice or can you speak to the benefits of meditation?
Yeah, we actually do a meditation program twice a month, and I encourage people to do it as a caregiver. You get really stressed out, just the environment that we're in now, with still in the pandemic and other things, life is very stressful. And so doing meditation can be really helpful. And some people can't sit and do it. And I completely understand that. You can do walking meditations. There's recordings you can get online for that so that you walk and listen to meditation, but it just really brings down the blood pressure, reduces stress, gets you to relax, and just allows you to just kind of be in the moment and take all those worries away, which we really need. And it's not a bad thing to do before you go to bed. So you can just kind of shut your brain off a little bit so you can relax and go to sleep.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I would love to say thank you very much, Melissa. It was a wonderful program. I sat here on my exercise ball and did my exercises along with you.
That's awesome.
And thank you, and I hope to hear more from you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.